Now, let's get more on the markets with Richard Perry in London. He's an analyst at Hantec Markets. Good to have you back with us, Richard. Let's start with the US-China trade war. So we've got more positive signs of progress coming out of Washington. Are markets feeling as optimistic as they are?
Yeah, it certainly seems to be that way. Since the comments by Steve Mnuchin about the enforcement mechanism, it seems as though that the market has taken on the positives once more. This is a really key point, I think, the enforcement mechanism, because I think that is the one main stumbling block that is probably preventing from China and the US coming to an agreement. And if they can come to this agreement, I think that that is a key thing that will get it over the line, because if the US is open to a two-way enforcement mechanism that involves them also being open to repercussions, then I think that that could encourage China to take on board their trade agreement. So I think this is a key moment that we can see, and I think that that is going to improve risk appetite. You can see oil going up, you can see equity markets pulling higher again. So I think it is looking positive once more.
And I mentioned the latest earnings update from Bank of America, but what other results should we be looking out for?
Yes, I think certainly these bank results in the last few days have been interesting, because if you look at Bank of America, Citigroup and also Goldman Sachs, they've all beaten on earnings, but the revenue line has not been all that great, and that is something that I think is interesting. Also, the fact that Wells Fargo had a bit of a profit warning as well, and it sort of alludes to the fact that we need to be looking forward to the next quarters, what the outlook statements are going to be for the future growth scenario. So I think this is an important line that we are looking out for, certainly going forward. Aside from that, you're looking at Johnson & Johnson today had an interesting line whereby their revenues were a little bit depressed due to the fact that the currency was so strong. So I think that that's something else we need to be looking out for. But certainly I think the forward-looking statements are important.
Interesting. Richard Perry in London, thank you again for your time.